I got a new hobby, bowling. I'm really good at bowling now.
Oh.
Yeah, very.
Like strikes?
Yeah.
Bumpers or no?
Man, come on, man. Like 200. I'm bowling 200 for sure.
Okay, that's not what we talked about pre-interview. Tell me about Lake Minnetonka.
Oh, yeah, man. You know, I got baptized in Lake Minnetonka. I hit a couple backflips, you know, swimming. I'm going back out there real soon. Meet me at Lake Minnetonka, all Minnesota fans. I'm going back out there, jet skis, everything. We're going to have fun.
Can you swim?
Yeah, like Michael Phelps.
Like Michael Phelps?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, before this gets out of hand, that's Anthony Edwards. In case you didn't know, there's nothing he can't do.
Yeah. Multi-talented, baby.
See him back. We'll talk about that later. Let's start in the NBA. Talking Luka Doncic, because yesterday Luka and the Mavs agreed to a 5-year, $207 million Supermax rookie extension. Monster payday for the 22-year-old and potential future face of the league. Luka said, "Today is a dream come true. The game of basketball has given me so much and has taken me to so many amazing places. I am humbled and excited to remain in Dallas as part of the Mavericks and appreciate the support of my fans." So Chris, will Luka win a title with the Mavs?
Absolutely, Joy. Look, I love Luka, and I know everybody's calling him Luka Legend now after Larry Bird. I feel like I'm the first one to say that. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like I was the first one to say he's a new age Larry Bird. Obviously, Bird won championships, so I think he does for a few reasons. One, as great as he is, and he's already a top 5 player in the league, he was first team All-NBA this year. He's a big-time MVP candidate. I think, you know, he could start winning MVPs maybe this season coming up. But as much room as he has for improvement, or as great as he is, he's still got a lot of room for improvement. One is at the free throw line. And he's a 73% shooter for the regular season, which seems okay, but he's 60% in the playoffs, which obviously is bad, especially for a guy handling the ball as much as he does. Now, is that nerves? I don't know, but I think he'll improve in that, because when you look at his jump shot, you look at the form of his shot, it looks like he's smooth and should be a very good shooter. So he'll improve at the foul line and then at the three-point line. I actually think he's a much better three-point shooter than the numbers suggest. He's like 33% from three for his career, although 39% in the playoffs, which is a good sign. But I think he will only improve from the three-point line, which will make him that much more deadly. Obviously, you got an owner in Mark Cuban who will leave no, expense unpaid to try to build a championship team and build the top, state-of-the-art facilities in Dallas. And then thirdly, I think he stays in Dallas, at least for another contract after this. The international guys aren't like the American players where they grow up playing AAU ball. They grow up getting to know all the best players in the country, playing together at times and dreaming and talking about playing together in the future in the NBA. You look at Dirk Nowitzki, I get it, that was a while ago, but he stayed in Dallas his whole career. Giannis bucked the trend and stayed in Milwaukee for this latest contract extension. I think Luka will do the same. So I don't think he'll just win a championship or championships. I think he will actually win a championship, at least one, in Dallas, LeVar.
I find it to be interesting, Mr. Broussard. I based a lot of my discussion points off of things that, well, I've heard you say. Ball dominant Luka Doncic. Interesting. You talked about Luka the entire time making your point, Chris Broussard. Think about that. You talked about Luka the entire time. You know, the only other player that you brought up in terms of Luka and this whole situation was Larry Bird or Giannis, right? Different teams, right? Different places. Larry Bird had Kevin McHale and a guy by the name of Robert Parrish, the legendary, Mr. Bird. Okay, well, what does Luka have? What does he have? He has all of those things that you just said. He has game. He's got a smooth game. It's comparable to the legend of Larry Bird, but he don't have the players that Larry Bird had. And to me, and he doesn't have the players that Giannis had as well. So to me, when I look at will he ever win a championship, I started asking myself, can the Dallas Mavericks attract good enough players? Because another thing that you made mention of in shows prior to this is that you have to have at least two superstars, 2-3, to be able to contend for a title these days in this current NBA. How do they get to Dallas? I talked about there possibly being a chance that, a Dame Lillard ends up in Dallas, or maybe a Ben Simmons ends up in Dallas. But then you start to think about what are the fits when you talk about Luka's game, a dominant game. I just don't see him winning a championship because I don't know that this market sets him up to be a winner in Dallas. Now, maybe he gets a championship maybe somewhere else, but this could, you use guys that won championships where they're at, but what if he turns out to be a LeBron James type of guy that actually needs to go somewhere else and get a little bit more help with someone else? That could possibly be what plays out, Joy.
I don't know. I disagree with that. I think Giannis is a good example of how you can actually build, and the market doesn't necessarily matter if you have a well-run organization. Now, the Mavs have had some issues behind the scenes over the years, which they have made a great attempt to correct. They've brought in Jason Kidd and Nico Harrison, which I think was a great aggressive move by Mark Cuban. We all know Mark Cuban is an aggressive guy and is a very involved owner. But in this particular case, while I don't really like meddling owners, I think Mark Cuban is very aware that he needs to hire the right people and delegate, because he is a great business owner, and that's what you have to do to grow business the way that he does. So overall, I think that the Mavs fans and the Mavs organization should be really optimistic about their opportunity to win a championship. A lot's changing in the West as we speak. The dominant teams have injured players, older players moving around their rosters. So I think they're in a great position. I don't think that the market necessarily really matters. Now, obviously, you have to get free agents there, but you also have to be in a position to do that. You can also draft, you can also make trades. So if you're a well-run organization, you can put the pieces together and win a championship. I don't see why they can't. This is Luka's 4th year. Let's keep in mind, for a very long time, there were a lot of questions about Giannis's game, which he just put to rest in this finals. And he just won a championship in, his 8th, 9th year? So there's plenty of time here. Luka is a very young player. I don't think we need to start worrying about if he's going to go somewhere else. He just signed a Supermax extension to stay in Dallas. So the way that I look at this situation is this. They've locked up Luka for the foreseeable future. He is the face of this organization. He is the face they're going to build around. He's becoming a face of the league. He's a superstar. So let's take care of this situation. We've hired a new coach. We've hired a new president of operations in Nico Harrison. So we have all these things set in place. We don't have to worry about these things, at least for right now. These are our pillars. Now let's start, to your point, LeVar, building around him. Let's start making moves to put together a championship roster, because we know what Luka is. And he's a very young player, Chris, to your point. So there's a lot of things he's still going to develop in his game, but we know he's a superstar. Let's take care of him. Let's make sure he's happy, because while most international players aren't very mobile, the world changes very quickly around you. So there was some talk that Luka was unhappy, and there was some rumors about Zion and all that not too long ago. So they've taken care of that. He's got his money. They're in a great situation moving forward. Now the clock starts on the organization to start putting the pieces around him to build a championship roster.
I'm glad LeVar went for my throat, all right, using my own words to go at me. LeVar, that was a feel-out round, all right? I'm ready for 12 rounds, all right? So I was a little jabbing, a little sticking and moving, all that. Now I'm ready to throw haymakers. You're right. This is the question, and this is what I'm really intrigued to see this year in Dallas. How does Jason Kidd use Luka?